And there we go. We are up with our technically second session 0. My name is Rob, aka Larrington Noir. I am the dungeon master of this particular homebrew adventure in 5th edition D&D, as much as it's going to look like 5th edition because it's a multi-genre game, which was part of the fun. Before I get into any more of that, because there's a fun story behind it, I'd like to give everyone an opportunity to introduce themselves around the table. And while we still have working tech, we're going to start with Molly in the upper left and go clockwise around the table, just in case something weird happens. I think we're going to lose her first.
Hi, everybody. It's very true that might happen. I have no equipment today because I just moved. But I am Molly or Barely or Bear or Barely Molly, really anything. You can say, hey, you, I'll probably answer. But I'm so excited to be playing in this new campaign.
Yay. And then Pond.
Hi, everyone. I'm that other Pond, or you can just call me Pond. I'm also really excited to play in this. I'm super hyped. I'm really in love with my character, so she's probably going to die, like, immediately.
I have never killed a character in the first...
Yep.
I have not had a character die in the first session since the turn of the millennium. I can say that with confidence. Cannot say that about much else. So, and then that takes us down around to Tiff.
Hey there, everybody. I'm Tiffany, or TS, or Tiff, or the one with the weird background. It all goes. Super excited, super hyped for this. I love the character. I'm very excited. Pretty sure she's gonna piss everybody off. Sorry in advance.
Someone put a pin on that. We need to come back to it later because I'm desperately curious as to why that's a belief. But we'll get to that when we get to that. And then last but absolutely not least, NLK.
Hello, I am NLK. Sorry, I'm looked immediately because I also just moved. So for Mike, I was looking at where my camera used to be and it's not there anymore. But I am so excited. This is actually going to be my very first full online campaign. And so I'm very, very excited. I am very excited about my character and this group that we have. Wonderful.
It'll help if the DM doesn't click the wrong buttons while he's trying to finalize some layout. There we go. I just want to make sure I get... There we go. So we can see that in there. Sweet. And then again, my name is Rob, aka Larrington Noir, and I am the dungeon master, the writer behind the story, and the fool that thought this was a great idea. And I was doing really good until 4 amazing human beings all went. I am so excited because this game is going to be awesome because I had just gotten over my imposter syndrome about 12 hours ago. So now that it's back in full force, but one of the things that's, I think, fun with the campaign, and then I think maybe we should... We're gonna have. I was worried about character creation, but it seems like everyone's got it, so we don't have to put time on that tonight. But we got our artwork done by an amazing artist, who streams under the name B Cake. You'll also find her on Instagram, and I sent. Thanks to the Kickstarter, we were able to finance everyone's character portraits and full-on artwork, which there will be shown beneath me at our next stream. There will be a scrolling art in that space. We got everything funded, and I sent these 4 amazing people off to give their description of their characters to the artist. And about 48 hours later, I get back a note from the artist with, I think we need to talk. These don't sound like characters in the same campaign. And I had to go through, like, no. It's absolutely normal for there to be a half orc in desert wear and a fighter that's wearing all furs and a gnome that at some point is going to be followed by a robotic vending machine. That's actually, yes, that's how the game, and yes, there's a dinosaur involved. So that's kind of like, that was part of the fun with this is having the artist go, I don't really? And then the work is just, I mean, she just did amazing stuff. I'll put this up here on the sketch pad because we will be putting this out. So if anyone's been following the Kickstarter, We are going to have a cast photo that's going to go out as soon as we finish getting, like, I think I'm one of the last people to turn in their headshot. So
I too am one of the last people.
it's okay. As long as you get it in before the teacher, you're fine. At least that's the mechanism I'm using for it.
I'm an 11:59 on the dot, right before the deadline kind of person.
Yeah, so I'm kind of geeked about that. And I think it really shows off the character artwork really well. And just shows what an amazing artist she was. And the fact that all the character paintings were done in 2 hours. Plus, because she was working for upcoming stream, she gave us like an extra 30 minutes for free. But that all said.
And I kept having tech issues while talking to her, so she was a little bit of like, you do whatever you want. It'll be great.
It'll work. It'll work.
She was so cool. Like just watching it come in and like her color theory and everything, because I was like, I kind of have a general idea. Here's an artboard. But like she was able to take through like the chaos and able to make something really, really cool. Especially because my character is like not human. And so being able to fine tune like the little fangs and the ears and stuff was great.
It looks amazing too.
I feel like truly I'm the only one that looks like I don't belong in this campaign, but honestly, it's perfect.
I think it's
I
great.
love it.
I love it.
It's amazing. That cotton candy hair is just
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, we were calling it creamsicle, like cream soda hair. Like, ooh, perfect. Perfect.
That's awesome. I know I started out with more color and then I saw you guys' sketch and I'm like, I know, I think we need something darker. Like if there's too much color, it's gonna detract from you and Nightlights. And I'm like, go dark.
You have a dinosaur.
I know. Who needs color when you have a dinosaur?
Dinosaur.
It's kind of a good thing. Kind of a big deal.
Lily is still amazed at the dinosaur.
Okay, so before we get into like the work from the night, I need to make sure I follow this habit. We are in the top of the stream still, which does mean we do need to take a second to thank everyone that made the campaign possible. So that's everyone that backed us at the gold tier, the silver tier, the bronze tier. Officially, since we are session 0, this episode is sponsored by everybody. And so everyone gets a shout out for that. And then the upcoming episodes are listed below because people have actually sponsored an individual episode. And I'm looking forward to promoting what they put out because it's really cool and it's a lot of fun. And Bravo is here. And thank you for that kind bit of support with that immediate gift sub. It's good to have you hanging out with us and part of the community. And I'll also mention, too, that we've got room for maybe 4 or 5 more sponsorships. If anyone wants to get in touch, we're happy to add you as a sponsor for an upcoming episode. So there's that hanging out there. Okay, so that being yapped about, those amazing peeps, we were talking about what our plans for the night were. I think there's some value in locking in a couple of things about everybody's individual characters.
Lantern 9 hype, Lantern 9 hype, Lantern 9 hype. Need my emotes, Lantern 9 hype, Lantern 9 hype, Lantern 9 hype, Lantern 9 hype.
You really want the Baby Yoda hype emotes, don't you? Okay. I'm happy you like them. I wish the Kaylee one was more popular because I'm very proud of the Kaylee one. But that's what that is. That's part of streaming. It's just part of how it all works. But before we do the background, I kind of want to hear more of everybody's thoughts about their characters and kind of where they're planning to go with all of this and what their kind of vision is for what they want to do. Because one thing I haven't done yet, and I'll put this out there to everybody at the table, I have the basic story arc. So like when I sat down with Eric, who was the backer who got to define the massive NPC, and by the way, Outer Dork, thank you for the follow and thank you for joining our community. We're glad to have you along, and we thank you greatly for all of your support thus far. It's been good having you. It's good having you back at the table and being back in communication. So like Eric defined that NPC, who is not technically a big bad evil guy. He was a little disappointed to find out it's not necessarily an evil character. They might turn out to be that way. We'll see what happens. So I've got the bullet points to get us there. But there's a lot of things that can happen between here and there, which are really up to you four. And I think Tiffany and Molly will back me up on this. Some of the most fun we had with Candlekeep so far has been when we suddenly felt the need to go deal with Jansen's demons. And we went off the scripted stuff and went, okay, let's go deal with Jansen's demons. Here, Lantern, have a bunch of things about us you can make us cry with. And I think D&D is one of the only times you can make people cry at a table and they say thank you when they go home.
I think we usually go, that was so cool!
It's not like...
I loved bringing the tears. It was so
good.
It was a fun couple of sessions. And some really good character development. And I don't want to lose that, but that also means that I need a little bit of primer in the pump to let me know kind of where you guys want to go. What are some things that you see as critical to your characters? And so I'm thinking maybe take a volunteer to go first around the table is to introduce their character with the obvious D&D introduction. And then maybe something about what it is that they want to have before they retire as a bit of a challenge. So kind of that like when X has happened, this character is probably feeling pretty good about life in general.
I can start and make this up on the fly.
I expect no less.
Well, I have been thinking about it. Okay, so I'll start. You tell me if I've missed anything. Okay, so I'm Tiff, TS. I'm playing Sibelia Mary Anning, or Sib or Sil, whichever, because that is a super long name and hard to put on a postcard. She is a ranger, human. She's a messenger, and she does a lot of parkour, which means she gets to climb things, jump things, and that is pretty cool. So when she gets really frustrated, you usually find her high up on a building someplace listening to the wind. What she'd like to do before she retires? I think she'd like to be pretty financially stable. I think she'd like to visit a bunch of places, tour some stuff. She likes to travel.
Excuse me.
Don't get a lot of chance to travel, but, you know, travel. And I think she'd like a house that's probably pretty tall in the center of the town, so she can look down on all the people that have annoyed her.
So is she motivated by money, or is that like
Doesn't hurt.
Sib is Batman brooding from on high?
Oh, gosh, kind of is. Sorry. I was thinking more really annoying early college student who just really doesn't want to listen to all of you, but it's kind of interesting.
Now, when you were doing your sketches ahead of time, you have the picture you did a sketch of Sib with her pteranodon.
Yeah.
As a point of clarity, is she riding, or is she like running across the pteranodon while parkouring?
She was running across him, or running over him. So I was trying to figure out. I don't know how much the pteranodon listens to me. By the way, the Fukan is the pteranodon's name, or Fukan, or Fukant.
Okay.
Listen very well. So I'm not really sure how much he listens to her, so we'll kind of find that out. It's kind of up to you as to how much. But she found him as an egg one time, parkouring over a building, and took him home and hatched him, and she has food, so he sticks around.
As often tends to work. Okay. So we have a motivation through money. I'm not necessarily going to put everybody on the spot yet to talk about fears yet, but that is something I'm also going to be probing over the first few sessions, just for that fun of like, okay, where is this going? So I can, find some fun places to poke at. But that's a good point to start with.
Maybe instead of money, it's her own place. Maybe either that. Money gives her own place. Maybe that would be a better way to say it. Still Batman, but...
Okay, Movi finally having her own space. That works really well, because that is one of the big challenges with the world. As I've talked about some of the setting, good chance to pop in there with this. It was interesting too, because I ran everything last night past Mrs. Noir. We went out for our anniversary. We're 19 years married. And then she let me, hey Orby and Arwen. She let me pitch the game to her at the end of dinner, and did not find major plot problems. Because usually she gets halfway through, she goes, well, that doesn't work. And I have to go, oh, yeah, okay, crap. But I need it to work for this other thing. And then she'll go, yeah, sounds like you have a problem. Can you pass me the barbecue sauce? But when a convergence event happens, so you've got the multiverse. When a convergence event happens, picture a piece of fabric, cut out a circle on it. Take that circle and glue it on top of the globe. So that's a piece of reality has now been dropped onto Earth Prime. And so with that being a semi-frequent event around the planet, the idea of having a place to call home is actually kind of a goal. Like a place where you're not going to have to wonder if when you come back in a week, if there's going to be something completely different where you just left. Like you guys made me kind of rewrite some stuff because everyone was so geeked about having your 7-Eleven headquarters. And I had planned in the first session to take your headquarters away. Like just convergence it away. And then y'all got so geeked about your 7-Eleven. I'm like, crud.
You can't do that to us. We worked really hard.
Indeed. Okay. Now, before you all think I'm a giant marshmallow that can be like twisted by a couple of pouts, a good DM recognizes when the players have put a lot of attachment into things and adjusts as necessary so that there's just the right amount of stress, but not too much. We talked on our Happy Hour podcast one time that there was a player who the players adopted an NPC, and then one player turned to the DM and said, and nothing bad will ever happen to this person. Ever. Period. And it was like, no, that's just, I need this NPC to be part of the game, and I need them not to get hurt. So don't do that. And I think it's very reasonable as a DM to go, okay, I got lots of other NPCs I can kidnap, murder, do terrible things to, have stab you in the back. You can keep one, maybe two. You don't get to keep the Pteranodon. That thing is going to go feral in a heartbeat. But, oh, you can bet at the worst possible time, you're going to roll an animal handling, and we're all going to see that one pop up.
But I've got its favorite treats.
Yep. And so does that orc on the other side of the field. He's actually holding a raw fish. Okay, so that was a little bit more background. Who else do we want to meet?
I guess I can go.
Okay.
So I am playing Samantha Metal, or Sam, and she's an artificer. Artificer? I never know how to say that word. Anyway, she's an artificer gnome. And I've been thinking about it since Tiff was talking, and like it feels a little like Dr. Evil-y, like the goal before she retires. But I had like build the perfect thing / harness the power of the convergence, because I think she, as like a artificer, she's super intrigued as to like, how is this functioning? There has to be a power source, and if there's a power source, can I harness this and build something from it? And so I think that that is like kind of like on the inside though, like on the inside, that is just like a curiosity that like a scratch she feels she needs to itch. You know what I mean? Is that too much? It feels a little Dr. Evil-y, I'm not gonna lie. And I don't want to be an evil character. Yeah, huge. Okay.
Oh, well, just
Then maybe build the perfect thing.
the gears turning are mostly me going, so let me get this straight. There are these events that randomly happen in which entire populations are erased from the planet, and Sam's first thought is, I wonder how that works and can I harness it for my own ends?
Well, like, but like not for her necessarily, just like for herself, but like for good. Like, can I repower a city from this? Like, how do we figure out how to like use this to the benefit instead of, it seems like it's only to the detriment of the people on this world. And I like, me as a player, and also I think me as the character, is very curious about what happens to the part of the plane that's getting replaced. Are those people alive and okay? I think it's like, it's very much so like the scientist is like, I want to know how this works. And I think that that would be like a box she would want to tick before she was retired, I guess. Because that's like a huge unknown.
This is going to work very well.
Okay, good. Okay.
This is going to work very well.
Let me get this straight. I don't want to be evil, but I'm very curious. I think the curiosity gets the better of the cat a lot in my situation.
You know who often repeats the line, I don't want to be evil? People who are evil.
Okay, I get it. But like, for science, you know what I mean?
That doesn't make it better.
Okay. I don't
Or
want
science is like GLaDOS thing, and I feel like that's a perfect example there. I just needed to put that.
Yep.
Oh, I'm blue and orange. Oh.
Oh.
This was accidental. This was not.
Yes,
a plan.
if you take a look, you will notice the portal colors. This makes it official. At some point, I'm going to have to make a portal magic item. Because that's just...
Oh my gosh, please make it a potato.
Oh, please.
The potato of portal protect...
Oh my god.
The portal projecting potato.
Oh my god. Or a chocolate cake. Oh.
The cake is a lie.
It's going to be a bomb.
It's literally a dungeon, and then there's a cake, and then it's a trap.
Oh, it's a mimic.
Oh, I
It's a
fall for that.
TPK.
It's a mimic.
I have almost died to mimics every campaign I've ever played.
No, wasn't it just Candlekeep?
No, I've died in my other game as well to a mimic. A broom mimic and a door mimic.
You have a type.
They both got me, truly.
Well, you're never going to clean or sit down.
I'll never sit, I'll never open a door, I'll never clean. But is that like too much? Should I like narrow it? Okay.
No,
Okay.
it's perfect. It's definitely, and what it does is it gives me some room, because now I kind of know that there is at least one person out of the four. If I can feed you a little bit of a, you might learn about if you blah, at least one of the four of you will go, well, we obviously have to go do blah. And that's
I think
kind
that
of good
she's
to
very
know.
driven by like figuring out how that happens. Like, she'll definitely go into a danger zone to get data.
Now, will she go into a danger zone, or will she send Sib into a danger zone?
I think she would go into a danger zone. Like, I don't think she's intentionally trying to put people in danger. But I
Okay.
think that she would like sacrifice herself for Data, that kind of thing.
That's really fair. That's a real good goal. Okay, we're down to 2. You've had some time to think.
I can go next. I play Aveline Voight. She is a human fighter from a non-magical fantasy-esque world. And her kind of goal before she retires is, because she just got here, so she's super involved in the world that she came from, is to try and figure out what's going on, like where her people have gone and if they are still around or anywhere here. So that's the big one.
That
Pretty
one
straightforward.
works.
Yeah, she's pretty straightforward.
Can I get back home?
Yeah.
I feel like that's similar to Katie's as well. Sorry, are you done? Pond?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to cut in.
No, you're
So I play Katazar, or Katie Umane, who is a half orc cleric, forge cleric. And she actually comes from a like sandy desert landscape, dimension, planet, whatever you want to say. And her people are nomads. And how they get around their planet in search of water, supplies, and everything is they've actually created sand surfing boats that are run by generators and that sort of thing, and solar powered, and so I think for her, after being having being forced over with this convergence event and retasked basically by the god of her people, to spread the word of this god and everything, I think for her she just wants to start doing she wants to try to get home so that she can kind of pick up her life again. She loves the people here, but she's very different and feels that quite a bit. And so wants to get home and wants to be in her comfort zone. I guess that's her thing. She wants to get back and make these sand surfers again.
That is laudable. That works. And
surfers are so cool. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Let me pull this up. If it'll let me do this on the fly. Because one thing I'm doing for this, environment-wise, is I am 100% cheating. Because I live in the Midwest. I actually live in Michigan. And so I am taking advantage of the fact that I know this ground really well. So that's where we are. As I mentioned when we were talking about the world building a little bit before this. Oh, it actually did let me pull it up. Do I have the resources to actually bring it on stream? We do. So for those whose geography is not 100% great, I'll pop this up on where the sketch pad is. The neat thing with Michigan is that we have every kind of urban center within 30 miles of themselves. So you can be in a complete skyscraper downtown region, when you consider Detroit, Flint, to a degree Ann Arbor. And then within 10 miles, you are in suburbs, and another 20 miles, you're in farmland. So the neat thing is you guys can, as a group, the 4 of you can travel between all kinds of different environments. You can be in a small town, you can go out to a farmland. And the neat thing, at least in Earth Prime, which is technically our Earth, a lot of Michigan's still really undeveloped. I forget that sometimes when I travel. It's like, oh, there's a lot of trees out here. My teenager let me down. We've been driving Grubhub, and I tasked them last time we went out to just collect a bunch of pictures. so we could kind of show it off. And then they got busy talking to their friends on Discord for the 3 hours because teenager. But they want a new computer, and this is how they are getting it. They ride shotgun on DoorDash deliveries. So yes, indeed, Michigan type. But here's what I'm picturing for Cat. Is it Katie or Caddy? Do you think?
I think it's Katie.
Katie.
So, like, I mean, it's Katazar, but Katie for short.
Okay, Katie works. I kind of figure if we just take the Earth and dial it up by about 3.5 degrees, Michigan already has a lot of sand dunes. It's not hard to turn Michigan into a desert, bounded by a couple of inland seas. Which also makes an interesting thing with how is Katie dealing with the fact that she went from a desert region into an incredibly temperate zone?
I feel like she's probably a little shocked at it. I mean, obviously, like, it gets really cold at night in a desert area. So she's used to extremes in that sort of sense, but she's probably not used to the damp, like the air being a little more damp. So
Why is everything wet every morning?
right.
Because it is.
Oh, and if you're too drunk the night before and you step the wrong way, you're in a lake.
True.
Which is also true for Michigan in general. As you kind of zoom down, there's like stinking everywhere. It's a lot of blue on the map. So, lots of good stuff. Okay, pop back over to that. Let's do
I
that.
have a question.
I have an answer.
What season is it?
Can you pin that for 10 seconds?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to add one more thing before we leave talking about NLK's character, which is in her home universe, she has an actual god who is an active god, as is common in most fantasy settings. The gods are incredibly active. Her god came through the Convergence event. The DM has not completely worked out how or why yet. He just knows that it has happened. I also got challenged on that last night too, of like, so wait, how does God factor into all of this? I'm like, well, but that also means that the god went from having followers who worship the Forge all over the planet to like 10. And the god is really desperate to get attention again. So that's going to be something I'm kind of looking forward to playing off of, but I'm going to remind everybody that it's okay to let me know when I've overplayed that card. But I do think it's going to be kind of fun to have a god desperate to get back to being goddy, which is not easy when nobody believes in you.
And one of your main clerics has no artistic ability, and you want them to draw the symbol.
Yes. Go spread the word. Make the mark as often and far so that others might find it and gather there.
Oh, it looks much better this time. Much less like a rabbit.
You think so?
Yes.
I feel like needs more sticks.
Oh, yeah, but that way, so it's not like yours, because that was just creepy last time.
Okay, so just here. Also,
perfect.
Also, can we talk about how hard it is to paint and like with spray cans and actually make it look good too? That it is a difficult medium.
So drippy.
Yes.
Right. It's a high ask.
A lot of props to street artists. Like, until you've tried to paint something with spray paint, it's really hard to appreciate how hard graffiti is to make. Which I know sounds a little weird, but
I definitely cheated on like date because I did some street art in in the Atlanta area, and I cheated day 2 and started using rollers because this totally cannot do this. The spray can just goes everywhere. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
In fact, when we get the full portraits out at some point, you'll also notice too on Katie, she actually has holsters with spray paint cans. So she's ready to make the mark of the god at wherever she goes, as he is like acclimating to his new universe and trying to find new followers, which will be interesting. Pond asked about what time of year it is, because the neat thing about Michigan is we have both seasons. We have winter and road construction. So
No, we've got 4. Hornet season, and it's raining.
But to be fair, Michigan, the neat thing about the upper Midwest is we do get like a really good range. So summer in the Midwest is different than autumn, which is different than winter, which is fundamentally different than spring. Mostly just by the amount and type of precipitation. So I guess the question, I'm not committed to one. What do y'all want? I can make this game winter. It does not change a lot of the major story elements.
Oh, roll a dice.
Summer is nice because we get around having too many terrible options. Let's do this then, since we've got some time here.
Oh, I have a question.
Yeah.
How long in time do you think it's going to take us to finish season 1 of this campaign? Like, if we start in summer, will it end like a year later? Or is it like a couple weeks?
Okay, so a lot of that depends on how often you want to long rest and how much you want to range far and wide in your explorations. I would probably say in the ballpark of 4 to 6 weeks. But if you all get the decision that you want to go all the way up to the straits at the top of the peninsula, and heck or high water, you're going there and you're going there on foot, that will make the game take longer in terms of time. Unless you, for example, like waylay one of the Queen's Dragoons and steal their celestial horse.
That's a good question. What kind of vehicles are in this world?
Anything you would find in a fantasy game. With the caveat that it is possible to find an automobile built before 1970 if someone can find a way to fuel it. Which is not easy, because remember too, one of the weird twists of the Convergence event is it's paired with an EM pulse that goes out about 20 miles from the edges of it and fries electronics. So that brand new Tesla somebody just bought before the first Convergence event is a giant metal box. That's also slightly dangerous because it has a nickel-cadmium battery in it. Yeah, your typical horse and cart, oxes will pull things. You could convert an old Ford F1 Series pickup into a giant wagon. Hitch it to a couple of oversized, maybe to a young dragon. So far, the only interesting mode of transportation I've come up with are the Queen's Dragoons, which are her personal troops. They arrive by riding a celestial horse. And when they dismount, they then pick the saddle off the back of the horse, and the horse disappears. So when they go to mount, they simply take the saddle, throw it into the air, the horse appears under it, they mount, and off they ride. I also
Sounds like we're stealing some saddles.
I fully expect
I
at
was
some
just about
point
to say.
one of you is going to try to steal one of these.
Well,
If
Cavalier
we throw a
class
saddle, will
now
Fukan
confirmed.
appear? What was that?
Oh my god, what if we put the saddle on the dinosaur?
That's an
So,
option, I suppose.
so is there a queen ruling this area now?
As much as I've developed the
It's a
lore so far, because
government.
I tend to be kind of like, crap, X has to happen, ergo I need lore. And I am not a big campaign world planner 9 times of 10, because I rather have the world serve the story than the story be bound to the world. But in the part of the world that we live in now, north of what is now Detroit, there was a convergence event that brought through an elven citadel metropolis. It is known as the Citadel of the Straits, as it literally straddles the river that runs from Lake Huron down towards Lake Erie. It brought with it millions of people. And therefore, the queen, who is the third generation ruler of it, has been expanding her influence over this region little by little. I had a name. I'm going to see if I can track it down now, because it was kind of cool. But it's definitely a big deal. So the elves are the primary movers and shakers in the area. What was Detroit is still there, and it is still mostly populated with humans, most of which are originally from Earth Prime, but other people have moved in. Mostly those that don't want the protections of being in the Citadel because they'd rather live on their own. So a hearty folk, if you will. I would guess that you will start off in a town which is at the edge of the Queen's reach. So you can expect to see some of her dragoons, people who are loyal to her, but it's not exactly like you're paying a lot of taxes back to her because you're a farming community on the outskirts of her holding. Does that work?
And how far out did you say from Detroit it was? Like further than like Ann Arbor? I'm trying to remember, like it's been a while since I've been up there, but like further than Ann Arbor, right?
Yes, but north.
Okay.
I actually have, let me grab
So a little farther than Flint, maybe.
south of Flint, because Flint has a giant mountain on it now.
Okay.
Oh,
That actually helps.
Yeah, Flint,
Yes.
Flint has a mountain with dwarves living in it.
It's about
Okay.
Holly area. Actually, you're almost Pontiac Auburn Hills area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so again, Pontiac, you have your urban downtown, and then you go 10 feet and you've got some suburbs, and then you go another 10 feet and you have, look, small town USA. You know, the classic, we have a little bakery and people live above it, and the next shop over. Port Huron, I don't know what happened to Port Huron, my friend. I haven't got that far with my planning. But it's on my radar. But I do like the idea that once upon a time, actually, Flint, the material was incredibly easy to find in the area now known as Flint, Michigan. Which makes sense in my brain that in an alternate universe where there are fantasy creatures, you would have dwarves known as the Flint Spark dwarves would mine that and turn that into their home. And they happen to also drop into this reality. Except nobody messes with them because they don't come out of their mountain. And
Well, except in winter, they run it as a ski resort.
No, they don't. And people who go and ask don't come back.
Well, asking was your first problem.
Oh, also resolved one more lore issue. And the poll, by the way, has got about 2/3 of the way done. And currently Autumn is winning in the vote. If you guys can see the stream, if you haven't weighed in and you want to, go for it. Autumn is a really great time of year in this part of the world, I think. You get lots of neat colors. You get a lot of room. I can do things like throw a blizzard at you, and it's not strange. I can also throw a heat wave at you, and it's not strange.
To be fair, that describes all of our seasons.
I have yet to have a blizzard in the summer.
There was one day, honest to goodness, this summer, where it started out at 60. It rained. It hailed. It hit 80 degrees. And then it snowed again. And it went down to 40 at night. One day. Good for it. That's where you get the joke. If you don't like the weather in Michigan, you wait 5 minutes, it'll change.
Mm-hmm. Oh, oops. Good. Outer Dorks got me right. I listed fall twice because I forgot to put summer. Apparently, there's no chance we're playing in the summer.
So this does beg the question, though. Are there still cider mills? Or we're going to have words.
Yes. Yeah. Classic DM, thumb on the scale. Okay, I did have this right. Okay, so if you absolutely want to talk about the most likely ruler in the area, not counting like a mayor or a bailiff or a sheriff that's taken over an area, it's Her Imperial Majesty Regina Gloriana, third of her name, Empress of the Citadel of the Straits, and all the lands upon which her vision falls.
But she would be like in the center of Detroit, probably. Like her castle would be there.
North of Detroit slightly, yeah. Right now, if you know
Okay.
Michigan lore, Michigan geography, it'd be like St. Clair Shores.
Did she
Somewhere
make
between
t-shirts
there
with
and
her
like
name on them?
Troy. No.
I don't think she has T-shirts. And go north to Troy and then go west.
She
Oh,
would have a press.
True.
it's been a hot minute since I've been.
Oh no, it's fine. But remember too,
Michigan.
the Citadel bridges the river, so half of it's in Canada. She
I am going to...
controls the waterway.
Oh, ooh, that's smart.
I'm going to guess she does have press agents, though, because if she's that close to Detroit, you've got all sorts of pre-press and freelance shirt artists. It's a happening thing. She's going to have some press.
She rules on high from Grosse Pointe. I don't think Grosse Pointe is much left after this because I can see once they start having technology fail, they're going to freak out. And the game takes place about 100 years after the first Convergence event. So there's been a couple of generations of people who have had a chance to adopt or adapt to this new reality. Which I also think is kind of neat that all four of you opted to be people who have started somewhere else and come through an event. Nobody wanted to be like, oh yeah, I'm used to living in a world where things are constantly in flux and chaos.
Well, I don't know why I started here. I started on Earth.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I'm a local.
All right, I'm going to put that down. Generationally, is Sib an Earth Prime from the beginning?
Yeah, Earth Prime
Oh.
human, been here.
Oh, I thought too that so my parents came over on a convergence, and I was born here.
Okay.
But it's like it was new for my parents, but it was
DM notes have been updated.
okay.
Guess whose water broke? Oh my gosh. What are you doing here? You have things to do, Azteki. Get in the car. And tell her we love her.
Yes.
And we're hoping for everything to go great. And thank you for telling us, though. I'm going to go
Good
light some
luck,
candles after
Nebula.
this.
Good luck, Nebula.
Yay, Nebula. See, this is why we wrapped up D&D, because we knew this was going to happen.
Oh.
It's so
I can't believe
exciting.
it's been this long already.
Already at the hospital. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Just stay on plan. Okay. There can be a long period of chill. Xander was 24 hours of chill. Don't tell Nebula that, though. She doesn't need to hear that right now.
Are we her entertainment while she waits
so.
her own convergence?
I think so.
Oh no.
No pressure. No pressure. Where's that one thing? Why can I never find what I want? There's what I wanted. Okay. So we have Katie and Aveline both came through an event and have had to adjust. Sam grew up as a first generation. Okay, so we now live in a weird world, and doesn't know what it's like to not live in a world where once in a while cities disappear.
Yeah, I think that's why she's so fascinated with the convergence, though, because her parents always tell her stories of her home world, and she wants to see it so badly, or know why they came over so badly.
So where are Mom and Dad?
Like, okay, she does have 19 brothers and sisters.
She's a gnome, not a rabbit.
It's a, okay, little gnome house. It's like a tree. I imagine they have like a little hollowed out tree that looks like, you know, those like German clock towers?
Do they make cookies?
Yeah. They're like Keebler elves for sure. And
Her
I think
parents are bakers.
I think that's why she like had to get away, because she's constantly like taking things apart to learn how they work and like blowing things up accidentally, and her family is all about like building things up and happy spirits, and she just had to like get away from them.
It sounds like they
Yeah.
might still be back in the Citadel then.
Yeah, she's away from them. She's
Okay.
been away for like a while. She did like I think she said she was like going on a pilgrimage and just like pieced out to the city and was like, bye guys.
Where are you going? I'm going out for cigarettes. Okay.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
So any like national forest, I assume that's close by.
Okay.
That's where her family is.
Okay, so they build up their tree house, or was it like magicked up?
It's like magic built up, but it basically, I imagine it looks like one of those giant wooden German cuckoo clocks
Oh yeah.
with 20 people inside of it.
I already have ideas as to where they call home.
Yes.
Especially if you want trees, we can't put you right next to the Citadel. There's not enough trees over there naturally.
Yeah, they don't want anything to do with like the convergence. They basically, her family like wants to stay out of trouble, and she wants to explore. So she
wants
pieced
trouble.
out. Yes.
Yeah,
basically.
that makes total sense. That totally makes sense. Okay. So the other thing we talked about tonight was who knows who before we sit down to go. And if I recall correctly in my notes, I have that Katie has already built a relationship with Sam. Is that right in my notes?
Yeah, I figured that we've met up somehow. I don't know how, like maybe I
Oh,
don't know how we met up, but I know that we're roommates now.
Right. I feel like it's something that like Katie was very intrigued by Sam, like especially because in her world, like she's a normal size creature, and now you have like this tiny little thing, and I feel like Katie is protective in that sort of way, but also, you know, and of course this is in the past, but I feel like they probably met up pretty soon after Katie came over with the Convergence, and so was trying to figure things out, and this little creamsicle gnome seemed pretty friendly. So, and probably didn't treat her very different, you know?
No, as a middle child of 19, Sam has no boundaries. No boundaries. Absolutely none. Accepting of all.
I have
just
I have a mental picture of Caddy lamenting the fact that she's waking up completely wet with dew, and Sam going, "I can fix that," and whipping out some kind of artificer built blow dryer to go, "We can take care of that." Completely.
your hair's just like shellacked up and
Katie's like, we're gonna be friends.
Yeah.
This'll work. Okay, and then I also have a note that Evangeline also knows Kate has met Katie long enough to have a conversation or two. Or did I just
think
forget
so.
to make a note about it? Because I think I have it going one way but not the other.
Yeah, I feel like didn't we talk about there being like a, and I don't know if we finalized this at all, but I feel like we talked about someone being a runner and that we were suppliers, like people used Sam like Sam would make stuff, and there would be some. I feel like we talked about that. Maybe not. Maybe that was
I think we pitched it around, and then I kind of filed that away, and I have plans.
okay. But I feel like really what just happened is because Katie sticks out, probably it was more of like just saw her, that sort of thing. So like there's a cursory like, hey, you're weird. Okay, you have a dinosaur. Yeah. Okay, bye. Like that sort of thing.
That works.
Recognizable, but not a relationship.
Okay, yeah. Well, we're going to start with the 4 of you met through jobs. Yeah. Very possible. And yeah, I can tell this is going to be a group that if I'm not careful, an entire session will be, and we walked home.
Yeah.
4 hours later.
We talked about Sib knowing her because she's a messenger, so she delivers things. So I deliver the paint cans and the random treats and bits that
or on occasion get called to deal with small odd jobs that require swords, bows, arrows, and if necessary, things that can explode.
They really don't go well through the I don't know if the postal system works anymore, so I think
postal system works fine. Her name's Sib.
Yeah, there you go.
What are you talking about? Okay. So I'm going to work off the assumption then that there's a certain amount of knowledge, but there's a lot of like, I kind of know you, but not really well. So let me find my tables in here because I thought I had them bookmarked and apparently I didn't. There it is. So for those not familiar with it, this is an amazing resource. It's the role-playing game Kids on Bikes. If you do any long-term RPGs, I absolutely insist that you buy this book. The reason I say you need to buy this book is it has in it relationship questions. And these are an amazing way to flesh out character backstories, to get around you all meet in a tavern. Because it gives the party a certain amount of like, okay, you've already met in a tavern, you've already gotten to know each other a little bit. Here's a little bit of story that we can then start to build on for all this role play that we've got planned. And there are 2 sets of questions. Questions for people that you know and questions for people that you are just meeting. So Pond is going to unfortunately end up with a slightly less long series of questions tonight, as not everyone's had a really good chance to get to know Aveline, but they have heard a lot about her in her time since she's arrived in the town where you are all located. There's rumors have started as small towns have happened. So she does bring quickly develops a reputation. As for everybody else who already knows each other, well, these are things that you've learned over time. Is the convenience storehouse still a thing? So far. We were talking about that at the top. Our plan is not to take that away in the first session. Second session, totally on the table. Okay, well, we'll deal with that. It'll make sense next week. It'll make sense. And we have to go there at least once because I already bought a map for it. So I already bought a battle map for inside the 7-Eleven. So we have to be there long enough.
Wait, a battle map?
I know, I was about to say, wait.
You bringing the fight to my house, Rob?
Oh my
I'm going
god,
to
Home
7-Eleven.
Alone. Home Alone. Traps.
The gnome has an 8 charisma? The gnome has an 8 charisma? Molly will be checking that shortly.
I do. I have a -1 to charisma. Why is this? Why is this?
Why is this surprising, or why did you do it?
Why did I do it?
You needed a dump stat somewhere and you weren't thinking about how you usually roleplay?
Truly.
Which, okay, now, for everyone that's like, well, obviously Molly can't play someone with an 8 charisma. Molly can totally play someone with an 8 charisma.
Oh, I really can. I'm very good at playing non-charismatic.
But the thing is, And this is one of the weird things about sociology. Two different people can say the exact same words in almost the exact same voice and elicit two completely different reactions. And the only difference is charisma. So I don't know if it's going to stay there. If Molly keeps it there, that's fine with me. It just means it's going to be interesting to watch the artificer say, I can talk us through this, and wander in there and come back out going, yeah, they're kind of more pissed than they were a few minutes ago. We should probably run.
But that would be funny.
Would be funny. What would be even more
Get us in
funny
trouble.
is if you're more successful at barding than Mir is.
Oh, that's cold. That truly is cold.
Yes, but tell me I'm wrong.
But it would still be
you're
funny.
not.
Okay. Let's take a volunteer. Oh, wait, I don't have my dice. Hang on, let me grab a d20. Who wants to go first? Because you're all going to have to go at some point. Pawn goes first. We can totally do that. All right, so this is a D20. And upper limit is 20. There we go. Now I got my dice set. Boink. Oh, and then disable faces. Now I can see what I'm doing. It is not a sidetrack, Maceo. It's actually a good conversation point, because I would assume that she would not make charisma a dump stat, but I can be pleasantly surprised. Okay, Pond. So this is a question for you in what you know of, and I'm just going to randomly grab, we'll do Molly. Evangeline has not gotten to know Samantha well. So the question is, what charming habit is this character known for throughout the town?
I imagine turning vending machines into things.
Oh, come on.
That's the easy answer. However, I would also, thinking on it a little bit further, think that probably like her intrigue has gotten her into trouble a few times, and like that has made rumors around the town.
Okay. Around town for her intrigue?
Yeah, like she's like probably like curious about how something works and like might accidentally cause a bit of chaos in the process.
Okay. That makes
I do see that. I do truly see that. Many things have exploded. Why do you think she's missing an arm, by the way?
Yeah, it's a little hard to see on this particular overlay, but you can see it on the artwork. This is a mechanical arm.
Maybe there's a rumor that she like those who haven't met her maybe don't even know what she really looks like. So like there could be rumors that she's actually like an AI or like a magical AI.
It's hilarious.
Like they saw the vending machine or something and they're like, that's her.
I love it.
That's maybe what Aveline thinks.
Maybe she's the mimic.
Eventually the pictures will end up on Discord. I'm waiting for like a bigger rollout until we get all the headshots in it and it's ready for shipping. Because this is eventually going to be the cast photo that goes out to all the backers. And then starting next week, I will have down there when I don't need the sketch pad and we're not in combat, I will have a character scroll running with all the full-size artwork. So you can kind of track what's going on. So that is coming. For now, it's a teaser while we do this. And that's a good bit of background. Thank you. I'm trying here. I think I'm getting the hang of certain things. So let's... Oh, and Eric just showed up. Welcome aboard. And thank you for resubbing. We appreciate that. So Pon just went, and picked on Molly. So let's have Tiffany pick on an LK. And what I have in my notes that you still don't know Caddy very well yet.
Right.
Okay. So, question for you. What good thing have you heard about this character that you can't believe is true? What have people said about the half-orc cleric that's good that you're like, I don't know.
Well, I know she does all those drawings for her god, so maybe it's that her god is really having her help people. Not a lot of that going on.
Come again?
I don't know. Maybe that she's I don't know. I was trying to think maybe her she goes around trying to help people more because her god wants her to, and that just seems weird. There's not a lot of gods. Gods don't really get involved. But she's getting involved on behalf of her god, trying to help the neighborhoods or something. She's her own Habitat for Humanity.
I mean, possibly.
I don't know.
I think that's definitely true.
Could happen.
Okay, so let me get this straight.
Oh.
Our half-orc cleric has a very active god desperate to get followers to feel important again, and our ranger doesn't believe in gods.
Yeah, pretty much. No god's going to tell their follower to do that. No follower's going to do that.
So when the god shows up and says, I really need this to happen, I need you to do me a solid, this is going to be one of those, like, interesting moments.
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay. I can work with that.
Okay.
I can work with that. We're going to keep bouncing around here. Oh, and okay, I haven't asked you a good question yet.
Okay.
So let's pick on Molly for a second. We're really picking on Molly tonight. But you guys already have a relationship, so you get 2 questions.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Here's your first one. What did this character do for you that makes you owe them a debt you can't repay?
Wait, and which character is this?
So this is...
My character to yours.
So what did Sam
debt?
do for Caddy that Caddy
I mean, definitely
cannot repay?
Blew the dew off of me. But no, I think...
Debt. Yeah, go ahead.
Full-on debt. Something bigger than just dried your clothes
I think,
once.
honestly, Sam is the reason that Katie has survived. I feel like Sam, like, they met when Katie was so lost and, like, just had no idea what was going on, thrown into this world that's green, that, like, makes no sense. Like, there's stuff everywhere, right? And this little gnome comes and kind of sets her world back in alignment a little bit more because she was just so uprooted.
That is really sweet. I like that.
My heart.
Now the hard part. What does this character have? So from Caddy's point of view, what does Sam have that Caddy wants to take from them? And no, it's not an embarrassing photo from a Christmas party. Nice try, third tier.
Well, I feel like, if anything, especially with what she's been tasked with, she wants Sam's creativity. She wants the ability to make things that in Katie's eyes are beautiful and complex and intricate when, you know, she didn't really make any sort of that. Like, she was, you know, she just helped make armor and that sort of thing, very practical stuff. So I think that creativity, but if we're going like something physical, definitely probably one of the machines. I could see like her secretly really wanting one of the machines.
That makes sense. I dig that. Okay, Somali. Hot seat. You and Tiffany's character, Sib, have a little bit of a history. You've hung around this little community for a while. So you have gotten to know her a bit. What role did Sib play in the best day of Sam's life?
This is too easy. I think that Sib's a messenger, right? Or she's a
Mhm.
delivery person. I think that maybe it was just her after they had talked, because I think Sam is like a treasure hunter and she sells parts for some spare cash sometimes, which she then hires Sib to deliver, so they know each other kind of through that. And I think maybe it was like Sib bringing something to Sam that completed a project that she was like struggling, like didn't know the part that she needed, and like Sib delivered it, and it was like, oh, this is the thing that's gonna get this to like work. And it was like, obviously creating something that works is any day is the best day of her life. Every time she completes an invention, that's the new best day of her life. So I think it was like her most recent like venture into something. Sib helped her by bringing her something that she was like, oh, I found this, and it was just, it reminded me of you, or something like that, or it seemed gadgety, and it was like the perfect thing. And it's just like Sam has always been like, I have to repay you from that.
Nice. It's like, found this, thought you'd like it.
Yeah. It's like, it's exactly what I needed.
Oh, well. Good on you then.
Okay, there we go. Now I can actually roll all the way up to 20, which is a good thing. Okay, now, follow-up question. What part of this character's personality scares you? What part about Sib makes Sam scared?
Okay, Sib is the one who likes money, right? I think it's the fear of money being more important than something that Sam would see as more valuable, which can be absolute trash. But if she sees it as like valuable towards an invention or data or something, and she would think that Sib would just
Is it me? Okay. Uh-oh. Hang on a second. We have a slight tech issue. We're going to, you know what? This is perfect. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick minute here. Whoomp. And we're about midstream anyway, so it's a good chance to remind everybody that this week we are thanking all of our Kickstarters for helping put the stream on and making this game happen. And all of the gold, silver, and bronze tier supporters that got us where we were, which is really exciting. The cast photo that you've been seeing is coming out. Plus, we're going to have the graphics for the overlays and stuff, and we're going to be working more of those in. And just a big thank you to everybody for being part of that. So once again, before we take our break, I want to say thank you, because it is incredibly humbling that y'all trusted us in advance to put on a good game. And I'm really excited to keep working on that. We are going to take a short 5 to refresh our waters, double check our microphones, and hopefully, well, we're going to get back here if we just have to put Molly on a phone. And I'm sure there's a landline in that house somewhere. And we'll make it work, and we'll see everybody back here in about 5 minutes.
Why am
I legit have been screaming this entire time. So you know what? What is the health of
You're
everybody
also
right now?
full health. You want to like come
All right,
back and join
everyone's
the battle?
full health.
Like, no, we're not. The rest
All
of
right.
us are like highly injured. You're on
Yeah,
the
we're
outside
all
full
hurting
health. You
pretty
wanna, like,
bad.
The
help out a
jam
little
board
bit?
says that everybody's. Oh,
Oh, refresh.
Refresh
Never mind.
that. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
Ember's alive because I just healed for 12. Show is at 12 out of 41.
You
You're
were
like
literally
farting
seeing
around
full
on the
health
outside of
this
the circle.
entire
Like,
time,
come
weren't you,
join
Yansen?
me. I'm full health. Y'all.
Shadows
I'm having a
didn't
picnic
have a
over here.
spot on the jam of the thing, and I was just like, oh, I don't know.
I think we broke the.
There's one right there.
Oh,
Get him.
okay.
There's another one. Excuse me.
Got him once.
He's paying attention. Oh,
Are you okay?
No.
Oh, Kaylee? Where are you? Oh dear. That's not good. You remember your first battle.
Stare him down like a hound.
Indeed. And you remember every face. It still haunts you. And as you lock eyes, you realize he is your friend. He is the master of this domain, and it is your place to serve him.
But I'm against being charmed.
Yep.
Does that not?
That's why you rolled twice.
You son of a biscuit.
You call for the ambush, and your party has a chance to rush back into the room.
Oh no.
And then he turns to you. Captainess of my guards, dispatch them.
Oh no.
Leaving the room was a great idea.
Oh no.
I told you we should have ran. We had a girl. We had to find one. It was good.
You're swinging again.
Oh man,
Oh,
this
guy's
guy.
tough.
What's up with this guy?
He's
What? What? This doesn't happen. This doesn't happen. All right, we're going. Let's go.
Okay.
And followed by the smite. Come on, Timber. We got this.
I mean, if he doesn't go down now, I don't know.
And
but
he finally drops.
Yes.
And is out of the scrap. Gets to the guy that. Go ahead and roll me a performance check. Maybe the dice are going to favor you at the moment.
Also, are
Can't
we
be an
can we-
intimidation? I can't like intimidate the rhyme
No.
with my music. Okay.
No.
Well,
Can
I
you
thought I
do-
would try.
Specialize this in intimidation music.
Or I
though.
can't persuade them to not sing with my music. Okay.
What's up,
can
Molly?
can we do anything when we're singing, or is that like it takes up our whole action?
Oh, it doesn't.
Come on.
It doesn't. Oh, good lord. Yeah,
Finally.
I'm over here
I
trying.
finally can bard. For just
Yeah.
let me bard. I never get to bard. I'm always doing failing rolls when it comes to bard skills.
The bard
This
is
the
being
first
the
time.
You're barding when it's most important.
It's about time.
MVP.
Sweden is my lucky country.
No
All right.
kidding.
Yeah.
As you seem to be doing really well with it.
Ooh, nat 20, so
Oh
25.
my god.
Jeez.
Nice. Shattered it.
Wow. Well, you can roll your damage. I don't.
25. Because I got 3 6s.
Holy cow.
Oh my goodness.
Why
She
did
just
I
hulked
do that?
out.
Rage hard.
Yeah, I think you should rage all the time. I think you
I
should
like this
never
rage,
not.
yeah.
Never
This
not be
is
raging.
good. Well, I
There's
only get
where all our
2.
good rolls were hiding.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's why they were so bad earlier. We were saving up. But... Stop hitting my friends.
Oop, wrong
They're
way.
damaged books with that kind of attitude.
Well played. Wow.
Way.
Also, super quickly, on my mic, can you hear anything playing in the background or no?
Nope, you're good.
Okay, there's a TV on in the other room, but I didn't know if you guys could hear it.
We are not distracted by the TV, like at all. And we're back. So thank you everyone that stayed through the little break. We all needed our stretch, or in my case, to vent. And it worked. And I think, did I get my notes down? We left off where Molly was talking about Sib, right?
Right.
Okay.
So
Go ahead.
I don't know where I cut out my mic.
My note says afraid that Sib is going to sell her out or might prioritize
Money.
value over money, utility over money.
Yeah. So I think that's what
Or
it
money
is
over
like,
utility, I should say. Yeah.
yes, the stuff that she's half built or collecting that she sees as valuable, that she and like her robots, I'm sure they'd be worth a fortune, but Sam would never in her wildest dreams imagine selling them. Like, to her, those are family. So it's like she would never sell them for money, even if someone offered her all the money. So I think that she would worry that Sib would sell them.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I dig it. So, NLK. I got a question for Katie referring to Pond's character, Aveline.
Okay.
You don't know her well. But what you do know... Let's see here. Oh. No, that doesn't make sense. We'll ditch that question. Why was your only brief interaction with this character so positive?
I think probably because within that small period, because I think there's a lot between our characters that we're going to have to work through, especially knowing Aveline's background and there not being magic, as I think we had talked about there not being magic, and the fact that I'm not human in that sort of... So there's a lot. There's going to be a lot to go through, I think. Or there's going to be a long conversation. But I think due to our similar backgrounds of being torn from our home in a very violent and unexpected way, I think the trauma, I think with that, my character, Katie, will be able to see that in Aveline. And really they'll be able to connect over that. Even if there's so much difference between the characters, that's the one thing they'll be able to connect with.
So that time that the two of them looked at each other, and despite all that weird, like, I don't get what you are, they still had a moment like, yeah, but neither of us belongs here.
Right.
It's like, okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah. We should probably go kill that giant spider now. Yes, we should. Okay.
Let's do it.
I like that. All right. So let's flip that around. Pond. What scandal in town was Katie involved in?
Maybe perhaps painting over something with spray paint of something of great importance to the town without realizing it. Like perhaps there was a mural or something, or like a really important like dedication to maybe the queen or something like that, and she's just like...
So this one time, Katie defaced a mural to the Empress.
Accidental, I'm sure. I don't know.
With a
What now is wanted for
logo of
something.
God. That would definitely be a scandal.
I just picture it being like one of those old time paintings that you saw in churches where you had Christ or some biblical thing, and then you had a bunch of the patrons in as if they were saints watching. And she just tried to paint her God into like the entourage. It just went wrong.
That's what happens. That is what happens. It's kind of like sneaking Santa Claus in the back of the nativity display. That would definitely be yeah. It seem nice. Reasons I'm not playing. No, we can do better than that third tier. They bring me snacks. That's legit. That can happen. Let's see. We've got Molly. No, Tiffany. We haven't talked to Tiffany in a bit. Okay. So Sib and Sam have had a chance to get to know each other. Question 1. Nope, we already talked that one earlier. Why do you have a bond with this character that can never be broken? Why does Sib have a bond with Sam that it's just not going to break it?
because they're one of the truly good people I've met. Sam's just generally one of those nice, happy, all-around good people.
I just want to juxtapose that with me saying at the beginning my Dr. Evil plans.
Those are gonna be like your twin sayings beside your bed, you know? Today, moderate your evil. You're a good person.
Okay.
Sure, don't be evil.
Absolutely, there is a t-shirt that's like shredded and kind of has the Google logo on it somewhere in the 7-Eleven that says "Don't be evil." That's absolutely legit. Carl Orcs would be like, "We are all brothers and sisters in the revolution." Okay, that's legit. So good. Sam is a genuinely good person who just wants to understand world-ending
power
events for science. Okay. And now the follow-up question. What insanity has this character shown warning signs of?
Okay, seriously? There was this one time I walked in. Have you listened to her talk to the vending machine people? That's not right. Not right. Look, she's really nice, but I can't. I don't want to break it to her, but they're not sentient.
Oh, fully. She tucks them into bed at night. It's a whole
You
routine.
dress them up for holidays.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Which is not going to be helped, as Eric says. Wait till she animates one. That's not going to help.
I know. Nope. Nope.
Once she gets one up and running, it's going to be like, oh, now there's no stopping her. There is no stopping her. Pond. Got a question for you.
Hello.
From Aveline's point of view, what do you hope to learn about Sib to manipulate them?
I feel like she's like a little bit of a strategist. So I feel like she'd want to learn something really personal, maybe about her family history, especially seeing as she's from this world, to be able to use it to her advantage, especially knowing that Sib is really good with routes and getting places very quickly. I think she wants to like utilize that knowledge and potentially like get close enough to be like, hey, please share this with me. But also, I'm going to learn everything else about you in case I need to use it against you. In a nice way.
In a nice way. I'm not sure that's how that works. Okay,
So
Molly.
we've got, don't
go
be
ahead.
evil for science, and I'm totally learning about you in a good way. Good. I love this party.
As Molly continues to build her mad scientist, we have some questions about her relationship with Katie.
Oh my, okay.
I keep rolling a 6, and we've already done 6 a couple of times. I don't like my random number, my dice here. It's not good. What kindness did this character do for you that they don't even remember, but you do? What kind thing did Katie do that Sam's like, that was really sweet, and Katie has no recollection that it happened? Like it never registered to her.
So the first thing that came to mind is technically something that can't happen until I'm a higher level. So I don't know. I was going to say that she spray paints faces onto her robots so that she's talking. It doesn't look like she's crazy. She's talking to something with a face at least. So it's a little bit of a kindness, but I can't create the robots until I'm like 3rd level. But maybe it's just spray painting them onto the half-finished robots. I don't know how that would work. Should I pick something else? Is that kind of stupid?
It's not stupid. So let's get that out of the way first. I would put there that maybe it's something that Katie never registered as kind, but Sam latched on to. Which is a harder question. The questions we had so far, this is kind of a tough one. That whole idea of like, I'm so touched that she did this for me, and Katie's like, I did that? When did I do that?
Oh, okay. Okay.
This
is okay. She never looked down on her for not having or only having one arm. Like she never like asked if she needed help. Like she knew that she was fully capable, and she didn't make her feel lesser for having a mechanical arm. She was still full. She treated her like a full person, and I think she's used to a lot of people, including like her family, like trying to give her like an extra hand, and oh, she needs extra help, and she's like, no, I'm a badass and I can do it myself. I don't need the extra hand. I'm fine. And so I think the fact that Kati just never treated her that way, it may be something she's not even conscious of, but Sam clocked that and was just like, amazing.
I like that. That's a good answer. That's solid. Oh, wait. Sorry. Wrong. I was looking at the good table there. This is supposed to be a hard one. This is a bad question. No, I don't like that one. What does this character do that makes you immediately lose your temper? This is kind of a nice twofer because you get to assign something to Katie that NLK is kind of stuck with. But whenever it happens, you got to kind of go a little rage monster.
As a roommate, there are so many things.
You are not taking the easy out of leaving pantyhose hanging over the shower. Okay, we're just.
I never close any cabinets.
No,
I always put things too high.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually kind of funny. Yeah, I think it's that Sam has no problem with like sharing, but I think it's when things are not properly restored into their exact place. And if the wrench is just a little bit off, she's like, I'm gonna lose it. Like, just freaks out over it. Yeah, exactly. Get it!
Puts drinks back in the fridge with only a tiny bit left in the bottom.
Yes, definitely. Like full on, like complete control freak, and then gigantic orc. And I think that just pairs very well, like bull in a china shop kind of deal.
We have fully established that Sam is an evil genius in the making.
Yeah, I think it's like she's at that crossroads where something could happen to make her evil, and something could happen to keep her good. And I think that's kind of like the budding. It's like the origin story is where we're at right now. So we'll find out what happens.
Oh, I'm so excited. You are going to have such great journeys. I can't wait I can't wait for Molly's character for season 2. Well, because season 2, Sam is the big bad evil. So.
Oh, please. Yes. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, the emotional turmoil for Katie. That's going to be rough.
You know that if that happens, though, Molly is just going to eventually take over running the game, and Rob's going to become a character.
Oh my god, but that would actually be great.
That would be really cool.
Hilarious.
I would not know how to do that.
The only problem is I know all the major plot points for this game.
But Sam would.
But I would love to get out of the DM seat for a couple of weeks. Okay, speaking of DM seats, Tiffany, we need to hear a little bit about how Sib and Evangeline get along. So, we already did that one.
I think you should just close your eyes and point at one.
These aren't always good ones. Really?
I
Well,
love
let's
it.
see what you
Forgets
come
to
up
refill
with.
the slushy machine. All right.
Let's see what you come up with. In Evangeline short time arriving in the community that you call home, she's taken to volunteer work of some kind. What have you heard that it is?
Okay, well, there's two.
Oh,
So she has been known to show up at clubs with a long line and take the place of the bouncer who is not doing it well. You are not on the list. He said you're not on the list. Go over there. I can help you, or you can go on your own. It is up to you. And
go on.
the other one is that she has found like a local drop-off site where you can go and maybe get some rations if you're a little low. And it's often like, here, she'll just hit you with it, shove it in your bag, kick you out. She doesn't really got intact, maybe. She's forcefully helpful.
I just think it's interesting that somehow in a fantasy setting that's post-apocalyptic, there are clubs with bouncers.
Oh, there are always clubs. You're always going to find somebody. You get anything, there's going to be people who have a good time, and somebody's going to decide you need to pay for it.
That's the okay. Of course, bouncers. Yeah, all right, I'll go with that. A bouncer with a mohawk, maybe. The community is populated, living close by. It's a small town, so picture brownstones, the classic people living above shops, little Main Street USA-ish in the middle, and then some nice outlying communities. The houses have been often repurposed as the original inhabitants have moved in towards the larger cities or the citadel because it's just generally safer. We were talking actually during the break about, is there still law enforcement? And there are efforts at it. But you have to remember, too, that when you add fantasy to a modern setting, a lot of modern stuff breaks hyper fast. You can pull that .38 revolver and feel real badass until a first level wizard goes shield. And suddenly you're not as cool as you thought you were. So I kind of see that as being a very pivotal thing. And the fantasy elements rapidly taking over. So we go 3 generations down, or magic missile. Yeah. We're 3 generations in since the first event. So probably at least 1 generation for most people since there's been one recently, which makes a lot of technology really spotty. And magic is the one reliable thing. And I also maintain that because 5th edition allows anybody to take any class at any time when they level up, this universe will follow the same paradigm. Magic can be learned by anyone willing to put the work in. It is not a gift.
Question for you, Rob.
Try me.
If technology is super spotty when the convergence first happens,
okay,
as time separates from the convergence before the next one, does technology start to get developed again? Like, does it get less spotty as time goes out, and then a new one will happen? It'll happen again.
Well, the EM fries the circuit boards when they come through, and they don't. Circuit boards don't heal.
Sure.
The next thought I would have is, okay, you are a computer designer. You know how to make a microchip practically from scratch if you have to. You also have a band of orcs attempting to overrun what once was a gated community. Where are your priorities for the next couple of years?
Well, yeah, I'm just saying that technology tends to be one of those things. It works. I was just wondering if that would be a development thing, and then it crashes again.
It's the energies. Okay. They're never able to put the energy to bring the technology back. Can you use mending? Sure, you can fix the circuit board and make it solid, but you can't make the electronics work.
So in my head, because I'm an artificer, the way that I see it is if Sam doesn't know how the electronic is supposed to work, and since she's not from this world, if she doesn't know how it's supposed to hook up, if she uses mending, it's only going to mend to what she thinks it should. So it's like, I'll mend it, but it's only going to mend to what I think it should. Like, I'll solder a freaking iron ingot onto it. Yeah, if that's what I want to mend it to, but I don't know how it's supposed to work.
I can't wait for you to cast mending on your first iPhone.
Oh, it's like gonna turn into a hammer. Like, she has no, oh, it's a beautiful cutting board. Oh, look at the glass on this. Like, she has no clue. No clue. She's from woodworking gnomes. Has no idea how any of this works.
What a pretty mirror. Okay, fun fact about my age. I didn't realize that students were using the front-facing cameras on their iPods to fix their makeup. I thought they were trying to use the shiny side of their iPod as a mirror for like the longest time.
Well, technically, you're kind of right.
There's no saving me from that one. I'm old and I know it. While we've got Molly on a roll here, she's had a chance to hear a couple of things about Pond's character, Aveline. And one of the things she has heard as he threw a d20 a couple more times. What bad thing have you heard about this character that you can't believe is true?
Ooh. Okay, Aveline came through in a convergence, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's like some type of rumor about like she caused her convergence. But it's like just a rumor because most of the people who are here now didn't go through a convergence. They're like second generation, right? So it's super rare to meet somebody who's been through one. So I think there's just like this town rumor of like, oh, they caused the convergence. And I think that that's almost enticing for Sam because of her goal.
Her fascination with world-ending events. Got it.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, so she could have been a factor. I must study this. Like, I think that's kind of what it... So instead of it scaring her, but that is the rumor that she has heard. Whether it's true or not.
I really like that because Aveline came from like a war, like the middle of a war. So like that's definitely like motivation to blow, ruin every something.
I love this. I love it.
No, that's just too mean. Oh, well, this will make things... This finally puts the ultimate plot twist as we fill out our matrix. So, NLK. A question from Katie's point of view about Sib, our ranger. Mm-hmm. Why don't you want to associate with this character?
Ooh.
What makes her someone you don't want to hang around with?
I mean, I could see that their personalities kind of clash.
Go on.
I mean, just in terms of like, now, again, because we haven't met the characters, you know, themselves, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like Katie would have a really hard time warming up to Sib because I don't know, I just get the vibe from Sib that they're more of like a brazen personality, you know, like holds nothing back, just says whatever. Because you were talking about like the annoying college student vibe, right? And so I feel like with what Katie has gone through, that maybe like the things that Sib seems to worry about, like money and that sort of stuff, seem so trifling. But like that, and that's just so important to Sib, and it makes sense for her. But from being uprooted, torn from your family and from everything that you've ever known, Katie would feel like it's not important.
I like it.
Yeah.
That works. That works. And that's everybody has done something for everybody now. We have a lot of stranger backgrounds, which is a really good mixed bag for good and bad questions. Whereas if there's someone you know, you get a guaranteed good and a guaranteed bad question. And again, I will always hold this up as the one book you need for any RPG that you run with a group. And it's Kids on Bikes. It is often referred to as Stranger Things, the RPG, because it's very much inspired by that. But it has really good roleplay elements in it that you can apply to any game system. And so I always like doing these at session 0 because I really dislike, oh, you all meet at a tavern. And for the first session, we have to assume you're willing to get along to go do the adventure. So what we have now is these 4 characters have enough history that when I say you find yourself standing at the entrance to what once was a place called Est By, your torches are lit and you know you must proceed. Reasons. Nobody is going to turn around and say, but why am I going with her? And that's actually going to be part of next week. There will be a moment where the 4 of you are going to stand in front of a place called Est By, and you have to go in. And I'll talk about the reason when we get there, because it's kind of cool and kind of fun, and also represents another map. So you definitely are going in there because I paid for the dang map. Give those banded amiibos? Yes. Yeah, you want to collect anything out of there? Go for it. Although they're not going to do anything because they're fried. I'm just saying, they're just neat little tokens that you can stick on something, I suppose.
For now.
And then to the artificer, who knows what they're going to do. Which is part of the fun. And that's our backstories. I feel like we got kind of through. The only other things I want to mention, we talked about this at our absolute first session when we met up about a month and a half ago to wrap up the Kickstarter, pitch our characters to each other. But it feels like a good thing to wrap up on if we haven't. I feel like our table has a really good comfort zone so far. And I don't want that to change. I want to remind everybody present that Discord chat is always open on my computer and Zoom chat is generally open. But I do run out of screen real estate, so sometimes I miss one or the other. And Tiffany has volunteered to be the Rob, you need to check Zoom chat. Which, by the way, for those chilling out on the stream, if Tiffany says that, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means there's something that I have overlooked that needs to come to my attention. And that's an important thing from a safety point of view. It's really easy for the DM to get wrapped up in a story or into a plot point and to cross a line with a player and not realize they've crossed it. And the advantage of doing this virtually is that there's lots of places for people to very easily slip me a note to say, hey, we need to dial this back or change things. As a general rule, I also hold to the traffic lights. Anything makes anybody uncomfortable and you think, hey, we should probably steer differently, you just let me know that we just use the phrase, we've hit a yellow, or any other indication of a yellow light. A red light, or any indication that we've gone to red, is we need to stop what we're doing and talk about other things, or even take a break and then come back and see if we're comfortable continuing. Everyone's made characters with some pretty intense backstories, so there could be some intense roleplay that comes out. That can be really good, but there can also be some really upsetting moments that can come from those stories. And my goal is to have a good time with everyone and not have anybody leave traumatized in bad ways. I mean, when we level the 7-Eleven, that will be traumatizing, but hopefully you will enjoy it. So.
Not the slushy puppy.
The death of Sam's first lair will set her upon the path of world domination.
You will create a supervillain, Rob.
Lord, we are Batman. One bad day villain.
The other one I'll add to that too is the ability to just at some point everyone's free in roleplay to ask that we fade to black. That's another great one if things are going in a direction, but you're okay with the story side of it, but you're just uncomfortable with the moment. Fade to black assumes that everything continues on its trajectory and we pick up at a later time. So if there's something where you're like, I like where this is going, but I really don't want to role play it. That's an easy way to say that. So we can kind of go, quick question. Is there a market for vinyl records? Yes. Absolutely. Vinyl is still very much a thing. I was thinking about that club we mentioned earlier. And I think a combination of like thaumaturgy, minor illusion, and vinyl records, you could very much recreate a good club scene.
I'm picturing like gigantic gramophones.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Because, well, vinyl records are entirely physical.
Yeah.
There is nothing, the only thing electronic is the maintenance of the speed of the disc. That's the...
But you can do that by winding it too. It's not really...
Yes.
Well, it is mechanical. But...
It's fully mechanical, though. You can totally pull that off. And so absolutely vinyl records will become very much a thing. And I'm going to make a note of that, Orby, because that's going to become a plot point now. At some point, there will be vinyl records are going to come into play.
We must find the golden record.
We found this record. It looks like it's made of platinum, but it doesn't work when we put it on the gramophone. I don't get it.
Oh my god, what if I animate a jukebox?
Oh, we have our own theme music. Stealth is -10, but that's fine. It's worth it.
We can have our own club.
Oh my god, just a walking, moving club.
I'll be the bouncer.
Yes.
Yes. Like it.
Yeah, it's one of I'll be really honest. There are a lot of aspects of this campaign I haven't fully thought through because I was like,
right.
When I started writing it, I started with the villain. And then I said, how do I make the villain a hero in their own mind? And then I started writing a plot for people caught up in the villain's machinations. And then I stopped writing it because I knew I would never finish another novel.
You didn't know we were bringing our own villain to the party.
I did not. But dueling villains make for an entertaining evening. So I'm down with it. Let me check our agenda really fast to see if there's anything I wrote that we were going to talk about that we did not. I will always review safety when we start a game too, because I think it's a good habit to be in and it's a good thing to remember. We had talked about voting on portrait versus landscape for the cast photo, but I think I'm just making the executive decision. We're doing the landscape because I really like it. I think it looks really good.
It is awesome.
And I think that's it for tonight. I think we got things pretty well covered, which is good. We're at 10 o'clock. We're 2 hours in. I actually was sick all of last week, so I actually don't want to run too late tonight. So I feel like this was a good spot to get. So we're ready to start next week. We're going to sit down at 7 p.m. and we're actually going to start. I had originally thought about the idea of this being like a solo moment, and letting everyone not have a break before we get going. But I kind of would like everyone present. To see how Pond handles that first encounter she's going to have, as Evangeline has to deal with a particular situation thrust upon them, and then we'll flash forward. So it's kind of like that pre-credits scene you get, and then we'll jump to the movie proper with a little text of several weeks later. And that's our plan. Then let's go around the table again and kind of wrap up. Who we are, who we were playing, and what you're most excited for the next 10 weeks. And we're going to go in reverse order. So NLK, you are up first.
Okay. Well, I'm NLK, and I am playing Katie, who is a forge cleric, who is also a half-orc from a nomadic planet. I think honestly, I'm just really excited about this group. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to the role-playing bits, but I think that like brass tacks, I'm really excited to see some of the decisions that we make because I think we got a lot of creativity around the table. And so that's one thing I love about D&D is solving things in very non-conventional ways. And I think with all of us, I think we're going to have a really good time. We'll probably give you a hard time, Rob, but we're going to have a great time.
I received a massive bottle of whiskey for my anniversary yesterday because apparently 19 is the bronze anniversary. And so Mrs. Noir has your back. You can stress me. Before we move on from you, though, you've got stream stuff I'm sure you want to take a minute to talk about. What's going on in NLK's world?
Well, I just moved.
Yay!
So everything, the curtain is currently duct taped to the wall. Because we don't have curtain rods up yet. So my stream schedule is a little out of whack. I am trying to figure out, because we're also trying to clean our old apartment. So streams may not happen until next week, but they would start on Monday. But we might also do it might just do a quick one on on Thursday. We're playing through Kenna, Bridge of Spirits, which is so cute. Oh my god, my heart dies because you have little rot creatures that follow you around and you give them hats. And you can give them like a pot hat and like mushrooms. It's like, oh, and the combat's great too. So, but that's me.
Cool. We'll definitely check it out. In the chat, by the way, you'll notice that there are links to our streaming partners, so you can check them out. Tiffany, you're up. Who are you? Who are you playing? What are you excited about?
Hi, I'm Tiffany at TS. I'm playing Sib, or Sibelia Mary Anning, but probably only her mother calls her that. I'm playing the Human Ranger, and in her other life, she's a messenger. I'm super excited to see how this goes. Like, I haven't actually been in the creation of a whole world game. Characters, like, this is all really cool because already I'm loving the characters we're coming up with. And I think Sim might have a secret desire to collect records. I don't know. But I really want to see how the world develops too, because it's not just your typical post-apocalyptic world, which I like. So I'm really excited to see where this goes.
Fun fact, I put on, speaking of records, I put on Saturday Night by the Bay City Rollers in the car tonight. And the 9-year-old wanted to know if we were listening to the Beatles.
We have a Victrola with an original Ella Fitzgerald record, which every once in a while I'll put on, and my kids are like, "Can I wind it?" No.
Okay, so Pond, the floor is yours.
Hello, I'm Pond, or that other Pond. I play Aveline Voigt, technically Duchess Aveline Voigt, who is a human fighter who just hopped through the Convergence just a couple weeks ago and was in the middle of a rebellion. So that's really exciting. She's from the mountains and is unsure about this place. It's very weird. As for me, I do stream as well. My next stream might not be on Friday. I usually stream on Fridays, but it's my sister-in-law's birthday, so things. But I usually stream Fridays or Saturday morning. Then Sunday I do D&D stream for on my channel, and Mondays as well, where I'm currently playing Catherine. And everyone gives a reaction to that, and I don't know why. It's a weird game so far. I don't really know what I'm getting into. It's an adventure. I'm a sheep.
It's worth watching because there are some great conversations as to whether or not particular shots are gratuitous.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of opinions on this game.
It's a lot of fun to watch, and watch Pond blush. All right, Molly, the floor is yours.
I'm Molly, or barely Molly, or Bear, and I'm playing Samantha Metal, who is a gnome artificer who may or may not be a little bit insane. and I'm really excited. I'm really excited to figure out how this convergence works. As a player myself, I feel very attached to the character because I want to know how it works, and I'm very excited to figure that out. Or die trying. So that'll be interesting. And my stream also, I have moved as well, even though right now I'm in a dark void. I have moved as well, so my stream will probably not be happening this weekend, but we do have like a big team event coming up soon, which is like a relay stream for charity, which I think is happening next month. So that will be super fun, and I will definitely be up and streaming by then again. So that's going to be super fun. I think we're all going to be playing Dark Souls. I don't know. We'll see. Not sure. But yes, that will be exciting, and that's all I have planned lately.
It sounds like it'll be a lot of fun. As we wind down, I want to take one more time to thank everyone that participated in the Kickstarter to get us here. You are collectively the official sponsor of episode 0, and we would not be here without your support. I mean, we would be, but it wouldn't be nearly as cool. And we all appreciate everyone's faith and confidence that we are going to make an entertaining stream for you. And so we just want to say thank you again for being part of that, and then for showing up tonight. We had a couple of new follows and new subscribes of people that came to us through the Kickstarter, and we're glad you made it into our sessions here. You can see a little behind the curtain as we're prepping up to get this game up and running. And so thank you so much for that support. As for me, I have been fighting a nasty cold, so I don't know when my next stream is going to be that's not D&D related. However, Saturday afternoon at some undisclosed time, you can come back here and see Molly and Tiffany, as well as Lenarius and Enceladsaurus, as we have our monthly game of Candlekeep Mysteries, which I am incredibly geeked about because I really like this next adventure. It's got some really neat plot twists in it. Sunday night, we are kicking off, fingers crossed, Dragon Heist. So we're going to be going down that particular road starting Sunday night. Outer Dork, thank you for not just for subscribing, for 6 months up front. That is a huge vote of confidence and very kind of you, very generous. You don't need to do that. You've done so much to support the stream already, so thank you for that. Indeed, it keeps the dice rolling and the books turning. Yes, Azteki, if you're still listening, you guys keep doing what you're doing. Tuesday next week, we do not have happy hour. We're taking the week off because we're going to monthly. And then next Wednesday, I'm back here because we're going to start episode 1 of the Convergence, where we're going to do a little bit of world building in character. And then we're gonna go find out what happens when you let a big box store get overrun when it's too close to a settlement. Which will be a lot of fun and kind of exciting. And hopefully somewhere in here I get to just hang out with all of you on a game stream, which I miss doing. I miss y'all, and I'm looking forward to spending some more time with you. I've been watching. She's still going. I don't know how much longer she's going to be on, but she's live, so we're going to go. And that is that B-Cake is currently streaming, and we're going to pause before I do that, though, to give a massive thank you to Outer Dork for that amazing and insanely generous collection of gift subs to the community. You did not need to do that, but that is far, far too kind of you, sir. And so thank you for all of that. That gets a lot of people a shot at all of the emotes, which is really kind of fun because, emotes are fun. So thank you for that. You did not need to do that. Blink, that's what I was looking for. There we go. That was really cool of you. So thank you for that. Meantime, like I said, we're going to raid out to... that should have done the thing. We're going to raid out to B-Cake on those wonderful sounds. And she is the artist who provided all of our character artwork. She is an incredibly talented artist. Show her all kinds of cool love and support. And we will see you all, well, the 5 of us will be here next Wednesday at 7 to start the game. We'll see you all then. You have a good night.